So, you're an entrepreneur, and you're thinking about building business credit, right? But here's the thing. Most people jump in at the wrong spot. They start with credit cards or trying to get loans. Today, we're going all the way back to step zero, the legal foundation that absolutely everything else depends on. Let's dive in.
Okay, especially if you're a sole proprietor right now, I want this question to really hit home. Is your personal bank account the first and only line of defense if your business hits a rough patch? Are your car, your house, your personal savings literally on the line? Look, for millions of business owners, the answer is a scary yes. And that is exactly the problem we're going to tackle today.
And you can see the difference right here. It's a massive divide. On one side, you've got the sole proprietor. Your personal liability, unlimited, totally exposed. As far as the law is concerned, you are the business. But on the other side, with an LLC or a corporation, you create a whole separate legal entity. This not only protects you personally, but, and this is crucial, it allows the business to build its own credit profile. And that right there, that's the whole game changer.
So this really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. You can't even start building business credit until you've built a business that the financial world can actually see and trust as its own thing.
You know, the core idea here is actually really simple. The whole system is set up to put its trust in the business itself, not just in you, the person behind it. Lenders need to see that your business can truly stand on its own 2 feet. So if you haven't created that legal separation, the answer from them is pretty much always going to be nope. And here's the incredible legal tool that makes this all possible. It's called the corporate veil. Just think of it like a legal firewall between your business life and your personal life. When that wall is up and strong, if your business racks up debt or gets sued, creditors can't come after your personal stuff, your home, your car, your savings. But here's the catch. That veil, that protection, it only exists if you've actually formed a proper business entity. Okay, so where do you start? Right here. These are the first 2 things you absolutely have to do. No skipping. First, you form an LLC or a corporation. That creates the separation. Second, you get an employer identification number, an EIN, from the IRS. It's literally like pouring the concrete foundation for a massive skyscraper. You just can't build anything on top of it without this. And don't underestimate that EIN. It is everything. You know how your social security number is basically you for all things financial, your credit, your identity? Well, the EIN is exactly that, but for your business. It's the root of its entire commercial identity. You need it for a business bank account, for taxes, and for credit bureaus to even begin to track your business. All right, so you've done the legal stuff. You've created that separation. But we're not done. That's just part 1. The next layer is all about optics. It's about making your business look and feel like a legit, stable operation to anyone looking in, especially lenders.
Look, lenders are playing a game of risk reduction, right? And they have this kind of mental checklist they run through to see if you're the real deal. A real physical address? That signals stability. A P.O. box can seem a little temporary, you know. A dedicated business phone number is a standard check. And a separate business bank account? Oh man, that one is maybe the most critical piece of this whole puzzle.
Yeah, this quote right here, it just nails it. The second you swipe your personal debit card for a business lunch or a new printer, you're doing something called commingling funds. And what you're screaming to lenders and even the courts is that this whole separation thing, it's not real. You're basically poking holes in that corporate veil we just talked about. And you know what? In today's financial world, this is a bigger deal than ever before. You've got all these new fintech lenders out there, think Brex, think Ramp, who are offering amazing corporate cards without a personal guarantee. So how can they do that? It's simple. They base their entire decision on one thing, the cash flow they can see moving in and out of your dedicated business bank account. So no separate account. You're basically locking yourself out of that entire world of funding. Okay, so your business is legally its own thing. It's acting professionally. Now you have to get it on the map. You have to make sure it actually shows up in the systems that lenders and vendors use every single day to make their decisions. And for that, there are 2 key numbers you've got to know. First up is the DUNS number. That's from Dun & Bradstreet. This is what gets you a business credit file, and it's absolutely crucial for vendor credit. Without a DUNS number, all those on-time payments you're making to your suppliers, they might not even be getting reported. It's like they never happened. Second, you've got your NAICS code. This basically tells lenders what kind of business you run. And that's super important because, let's be honest, some industries are just seen as higher risk than others. All right, let's recap. We've laid the legal groundwork,
We've built a professional identity. We've created a digital footprint. Now, we get to the payoff. Let's talk about what all this work actually unlocks for you.
This is where it all comes together. Remember that DUNS number we talked about? Well, that's your key to getting vendor credit from suppliers like Uline or Grainger. That separate bank account you opened? Bam! That's your ticket to those awesome no PG fintech cards. And that LLC or corporation you set up way back at the beginning? That's what makes you even eligible to walk into a bank and ask for a traditional loan. You see, every single one of these steps directly opens a brand new door to funding. So if you remember one thing, let it be this. None of this is just boring paperwork. This is the language of legitimacy in the business world. These steps are what make your business visible, what make it trackable, and what make it trustworthy to lenders, to vendors, to the whole financial system. This is how you take your business from being just a side project and turn it into a real entity that can stand on its own 2 feet and really grow.
So, think about it. You've poured the concrete. You've framed the building. You've separated yourself from the business and given it a real identity. The foundation is rock solid. So the only question left is, how high are you going to build?